Hello friends, and welcome to the online lecture series of CNC machines and automation. We have discussed the special devices or the system devices in the unit number 4. We are going to start the unit number 5 in this lecture. So unit 5 is very important because it tells you about the common simple problems associated with the CNC. Correct. So unit number 5 is related to the problems in CNC. So what we are going to study today, we are going to study about these topics, although these topics are very small because we are not getting into depth of these problems, correct? But for the general problems, with common problems, there are the faults, and then how we can diagnose them and how we can treat them. Clear? Those kind of techniques will be discussed in this unit number 5 and specifically in this chapter. So what we are going to discuss, the introduction about the your different kind of problems. So a CNC machine consists of electrical, mechanical, pneumatic or hydraulic and electronic component. It is a basic requirement for a CNC machine that all kind of engineerings are collaborated in the CNC machine, whether it is computer science, mechanical, electrical, your electronics. Clear? So everything is connected in here. So the problems can be related to any of these components. Clear? So the person operating a CNC should know what are the common problems. You don't know, you are not the authorized person to check everything of the machine, but the common problems can easily be diagnosed and easily we can check and treat it well and maintain well. Clear? So what kind of different tools that we are going to use? So firstly, I am going to discuss about the problems in mechanical component. Okay, there are different type of mechanical components are used in the machine, like headstock, tailstock, slideways, tool pallets and switches. So there are variety. So what common problems we face in the beds? Why we are facing the problem in beds? Because the bed is handling the lots of forces. Clear? So there may be some deformation or some bend in the bed. Secondly, it has to take the heavier forces as well as the temperatures because of the friction of cutting. Clear? So it is to avoid this kind of things. What we can do, thermally symmetrical designs are to be made. If the heating is done, we know that while cutting that the heating will be developed over there. So to remove that heating, it should be dissolved, it should be dissipated, or it should be homogeneously spread over the surface. That's why these kind of defects can be eliminated. So thermally symmetrical design are to be made. Then the air conditioning is done for this kind of a problems for the temperature. So if you're wanted for the forces, that your bed should be able to withstand all the forces and depending upon the capacity of machine. Then the second is your slideway. It is again the mechanical component. So slide and tool pallets. So slideways are the basic component of a CNC machine. Clear? So the problem associated with it is wear and tear. So this can be handled in two ways. Either you choose your material that way so that it should not wear worn out, or you make your surface of your slideway so too hard so that there should not be any scratching. Clear? So there should not be any difference in the finishing. Clear? So slideways and tool pallets will be there. In order to avoid this, the hardened beds are to be used. As I said, the hardened strip is to be used, means this only the surface which is in contact of the slideways that should be hardened, or recirculating ball and screw nut are to be used in there, which I have discussed in the unit number 2. Okay, in the different types of slideways. So you can watch that video also. Next is problems in again mechanical switches. So mechanical switches, as you can see, the switches which are continuously used in the CNC machine. So those switches are to be maintained very well. There are the problems are endpoints. Correct? What it is used for, the endpoint reached, arrival of the workpiece, end of the cutting. So all these kind of things are to be controlled by the mechanical switches. So what common problems are associated with it is alignment problem. As you can see, this is in this case, if I would just show you over here. So in this case, this ram is going up and down. If the alignment is displaced, if the alignment is incorrect, then there's a problem in the reaching to this point. Then there's actuating lever bend upon this. This is your actuating lever which is actuating here. If it gets more bend, so your switch would be telling you the errors. Then the dirt of foreign between the contact, where it is contacting, then the dirt is accumulated over there. So this will decrease or increase your timing. Correct? So if the timing is decreased, then your accuracy would be hampered in Clear? So these are the some common problems of the mechanical which are associated. Now the electrical components. What are the different electrical components and their problems associated with it is there are switching devices. Clear? As you can see, these type of electrical switching devices, on and off type. Clear? So electrical, like a motor is to start or stop. It is 0, it means when it is a 0 it means off, when it is a 1 it means on. Clear? As you can see on this switch. Then the second is your solenoids. Solenoids are the actually a sensor which is going to actuate something, as you can see in here. Clear? So there is a coil, there is a solenoid coil over here, then this is a spring. When you pass the electricity in this coil, it gets charged, and armature is going to rotate, and it is moving up down motion is to be given through this spring expansion or compression. So it is finally the solenoid which actuate to let the fluid or water in or out. It is to block or unblock the things. This solenoid valve is used in your heaters which you use in the winters. The solenoid valve is there, correct, which is actuating. Then the drive system motor, it is very common. So all the problems related to the electrical component, if it is a motor, like your wiring is not perfect, like the motor burnt out, it's not taking the load. So all these kind of problems are related to the motor. It is very common. Next is problems related to pneumatic or hydraulic system. The pneumatic system means related to air, hydraulic system related to fluid or the oil. So I would take it as a fluid which contains both pneumatic as well as hydraulic system. So in a pneumatic system or the fluid system, that contains the cylinder, piston and valve. Clear? So what is this? This is the basic system for the hydraulic and pneumatic system. So what it says that a fluid tank, in case of it is air, it would be open. If it is oil, so this will be a fluid tank. Then there is a filter, hydraulic pump. It is your actuator which is used in here, which I am talking about, the actuator. Then the pressure regulator, which is consisting the enough amount of pressure is to be gone further. Then there is a control valve, which direction is to go. Here, which direction is to send the fluid, that is controlled by the controlled valve, and then the piston is up and down. So it is simply your basic pneumatic or hydraulic system. So what problems are associated with it? The main problem with the pneumatic system is compressibility of air. Clear? How much amount of the compressible air is required. One thing I wanted to make you sure that in a hydraulic system the movement is very smooth, but in a pneumatic system the movement is rapid. Clear? Because we cannot control the air pressure as we can control the hydraulic pressure. Correct? So in that pneumatic system, the compressibility of air is the major factor, because we have to compress it more, and the compressor would run at a higher speeds even. So a regulator can be used to expand stored air to proper working pressure in this. So this can be removed by the pressure regulator over there. Then what are the common faults? So first of the it is for the electronic components. The first of all is the sensors. If your sensor is faulty, then what could be done? How could you know that the sensor is faulty? So it can be substituted with a new one. Clear? So a sample test is to run with a newer sensor. If the older sensor and newer sensor giving the same value, it means your sensor is perfect. If it is not, then you change your sensor. So it means it is a comparative. When you found that the sensor is not working well, when you feel that it is not working well, then you compare it with the new sensor. So if they both are giving the same output, it means the both are same. Clear? Otherwise, your sensor is faulty. Correct. Then there are switches and relays. So what switches and relays is? So as you can see, we have discussed the induction also. So switches and relays is to on and off switches simply. So what problems are there? The dirt particles. If the contact made by here, it is if the dirt is maintained inside or accumulated inside here, so the connection cannot be made properly. Clear? So sometimes it remains open circuit. Clear? So this kind of problems can be filled in, can be sensed in the switches and relays. Clear? So the next is motors. So motors could be AC motors and DC motors. Clear? So in both of the cases, it's a completely mechanical component. If you do not lubricate them, clear, then there is a wear and tear, more wear and tear or noise sometimes. And if it is your motor with a bushes, so you need to use the new bushes all the time. Clear? While the maintenance in there. Correct? Then the common faults and remedies, if in the hydraulic and pneumatic systems are there. Fine. So the fillers are regularly checked and cleaned in this case, because if in the pneumatic system, if the dirt is accumulated inside the cylinder, so it would get into your circuit. Clear? So it would get into your circuit. So this could be this could damage your seals, block orifices. So this is a major problem related to the pneumatic system. So in that case, you need to check the leaks, pipes, fittings are common fault. So what you need to check every time, you need to clean the air, fine, whenever it is getting into your cylinder. Yeah, fault finding techniques. It is in case of your electronic devices are there. Then how much logic is going in, how much current is going in, how much pulses are going in. So all those things can be found in the fault finding technique. So fault finding technique includes the first of all the visual inspection. So what those things which can be visually identified, which can be visually checked, that are called your visual inspection. Just looking into some wire is broken, okay, some circuit is not properly working. So you need to check by visual inspection. So this can be done by your soldering the things, welding the things, correct? So it is very easy. Then we are having a multimeter. So when you check whether your motor is getting the proper voltage, proper current, so that could be checked by the multimeter. Then the further step is oscilloscope. So some of you don't know about the oscilloscope, so just Google it out. Then what is oscilloscope? Actually it is testing the signals, amplitude, signal frequency, signal wavelength. So everything can be checked into the oscilloscope. So there are variety of oscilloscopes are available in the market. So it is depending upon the signal. It is checking your signal strength, value, all the parameters of your signal can be checked onto the oscilloscope. The image of the oscilloscope, screen of the oscilloscope is this one. Then the next is your logic probe and logic pulsar. Logic probe and logic pulsar have is one device which can do both of the functions. The logic probe, it is to check whether your logic states are correct in the circuit. If your logic states are correct in the circuit, then if not, then some of the logic is inserted by the logic pulsar. So one device can do both of the function. The logic probe, it is to check whether the logic is coming out in the circuit, or in the circuit it is correct or not. If it is not correct, then some of the logic is inserted in, some of the logic is inserted or injected inside the circuit, that with the logic pulsar. Both the functions can be done by the single device. Then we are having the current tracer. Current tracer means if your PCB, printed circuit board, how you identify the current, where the current is going. So in the PCB it is very difficult to find out because there are a lot of integrated circuits onto the PCB. So when we checking the current, so it is a current tracer which checking the current which way it is going. So you can easily find it out the faulty things. Then we are having the logic clips. You might have seen it is to transfer the data, the logic clip from one side to the another side. Then we are having a logic comparator. Logic comparator means which comparing. Comparing means if your circuit is correct, the logic coming out from a circuit is correct or not, it will be checked by the logic comparator circuit. Yeah. So according to your purpose, you redesign your circuit and then you identify the problem. Correct. Then we are having the online fault finding techniques. These are the offline. The previously we discussed about the offline fault finding techniques, means away from the machine. But if on the machine, while working on the machine, how do you find the faults? So actually it is called the GNC, graphic numeric control. Here, which when you are finding the fault online onto the machine in a real time, that is called your GNC. So it is having 4 steps. The first one, recognition of the machined surface. Which surface has to be machined? Clear. Firstly, the machine is able to understand the surface on which you have to do the cutting. That is called recognition of the machined surface. Then the tool path generation. The machine itself generates the tool path and it can be checked onto the machine monitor. Clear, whether the path generated is right or wrong. If it is right, because sometimes the path is generated, it may hamper your workpiece or your tool or your machine. Yeah. So the tool path generation give you clear-cut idea in what way the tool will be moving. Then the tool path verification. Then you verify it. Correct. Verify that it does not hit anywhere in the machine. Your tool doesn't hit anywhere on the machine. Secondly, the product you are manufacturing, it is correct or not. These both things can be checked onto the simulator also. But this is online fault finding, so you can directly check onto the machine. Just insert your program inside the machine, then you can check it out. Now the fourth one is collision detection. So any kind of collision can be detected over there. So this is your online fault finding technique, which are real time on the machine. You can check it out. Clear? So this is the GNC, graphic numeric control. So this is all about today's lecture. If you wanted to check my other videos, you must subscribe this channel Tiny Steps and share this video to your friends so that someone can benefit it. Thank you and take care.